Hello, hello, hello. Here we are on another great and wonderful day. It is beautiful outside. It is fall. It is cool. Rather bit cool. I'm not sure what the temperature is. I forgot to check it, or I could tell you. Well, a deep subject's coming up, eh? It's nice. There's some clouds in the sky. The clouds don't look too abnormal. They look kind of natural to me. I don't know. You can see them in the background, eh? And you say those clouds, they look pretty good. They don't look kind of strange. They don't look like they've been sprayed on. They look like normal clouds. Quite a bit of them though, hey? Some of them's pretty dark, some of them's lighter. But at least they don't look like there's some kind of strange phenomenon going on in the sky, eh? Well, I thought I'd come outside and walk the dogs. They got really excited about getting out. So I said, hey, why not throw on some clothes because it's chilly out there. And these outfits here with that wonderful and warming wool are just amazing in this kind of weather. I just love to wear these outfits made of wool in cold weather. Now, if you're going to wear these in hot weather, they're quite uncomfortable. Yes, you'll be very warm, you will. Very warm. Warmer than you want to be, that's a fact. So I thought I'd come out, let the old pups run, and that's what they're doing. They're running around, checking the place out. Got one over here, checking things out there, and one over there, checking things out there. So that is what the pups do. They sniff around and check everything out, see if they can find something. Oh my, they're having a good time. They need some exercise, they do, or they get in trouble, they do. They'll take and start getting all rambunctious and they'll drive you crazy. These two here, they like your food better than they do their own. So what they'll do is they'll beg off of you. And you feel like giving them a couple cracks on the old noggin, eh? But you don't do it, because that wouldn't be nice now, would it? Don't crack your old dogs on the noggin. That's what I say. Oh well. Needless to say, I didn't know if I can do this with one hand. But I purchased myself. I said I was out here looking around and I wanted to check something out. And I said, you can't dress like that and go outside and take a pair of binoculars because it just doesn't match up, huh? Doesn't match up, that's for sure. So I got me one of these. So did you say, Ed, where'd you get that at? Yeah, did you? Look at that. Brass, isn't that beautiful, huh? You can look through it. I think you have to adjust this some because I'll be honest with you, at this point, you have to focus it. So it takes two hands to do that. I'd have to hang this camera up in a tree or something to be able to do that. But anyway, I got this, and it's pretty nice. I'll tell you the story of it. I decided I wanted one, so I went on where I do most of my shopping. And I looked and I came up with an individual that had this one for sale on eBay. So what did I do? I ordered it. So I'm anxiously waiting to get it, and it comes in the mail, eh? And then guess what? It sounds like, have you ever taken and picked up something and it's made of glass and you shake it and it just rattles like crazy? I look down inside of it. Oh my goodness, it looks like the lenses may be shattered. It's no good. It is no good. I was really bummed. So I thought to myself, I said, Ed, you have to send that back. It wasn't that outrageously expensive. I don't know if it was about $25 total. I mean, you can spend a lot more on them, but this one obviously wasn't any good, and I just couldn't imagine it being in a wooden box, because it does come in a wooden box. I couldn't imagine it being thrown around and mishandled that much, that it would be all crushed on the inside, huh? So I took it all apart, because you could take it apart, and all the lenses and everything had all came unscrewed from the inside, and it was laying in there, but nothing was broke. So I was able to put it back together and make it work. So I got to thinking about it. I said to myself, I didn't want to be a real rectum, but I think I'm going to ask this person about that and see just exactly what's going on, because it was advertised. As far as I could tell, it worked. They're supposed to work. This one here, clearly you can't see nothing through it because the lenses is all fell out of the inside, eh? So I sent him a message and told him that, you know, it's got the lenses all out of it and it's not able to see anything through it. So I said I won't be able to spot any ships on the horizon through this thing. So they said, well, it's been on my shelf and mantle for years, and that's all they are, is a shelf and mantle piece. They're not meant to be looked out of, you know, because I told them that I'll not see no ships on the horizon of that. And I thought, no, now wait a minute. Certainly you don't buy one of those just to stick on the shelf so you can look at it. You want to pick it up, telescope it out, and look out across the horizon, eh? So anyway, they said, give me $5 back. So when I fixed it, so instead of trying to go for a full refund, I said, I'll just send me the $5, eh? So that's what they did. So I got $5 back on it, and it does work. It's not the best thing, but then those things weren't, you know, exactly like the modern type stuff that you look through anyway. So in case you're wondering why I kind of zoom in and out of trying to keep an English accent here, I'm practicing trying to keep the English accent going. So when I talk, it's always coming out with English, eh? That's what I'm looking for. Try to get more English. Didn't want to go down under. Some people don't have a lot of English accent. You can watch the old Benny Hill shows and see a lot of English folks. Maybe you can listen to them talking. You can pick up on some of the accent, and then you could be a better portrayer if you decide to go into some reacting, eh? And then you won't have you'll sound the part of what you're dressed for, huh? So, needless to say, it's a good and beautiful day out here. I didn't think that all the rain we had in the past few days really give us enough rain after all. I think there's still a terrible shortage of rain here. Oh, there's a school bus coming. They'll say, oh my goodness, there must have been a time warp and a British soldier fell out of the sky, eh? Time warp hit, the kids won't know what to think when they say that. I say, oh my goodness, a spot of history, eh? Oh yes, it's definitely a spot of history. And I like it, it's pretty cool. Very interesting. But yeah, history needs to be taught. And I'm working on trying to get a more accurate deception of the history of things, because I don't know, I don't really have a huge accuracy on stuff. Sometimes I'll get myself confused because I get into too many different things. I don't settle down on one thing. You know, if you specialize and concentrate on one thing, you can actually get pretty darn good at it. You might be the best in your class. You might be a master. Yes, you might be a master. But if you keep jumping around all the time and going in and out of everything, it gets to be what you could say a little, you know, a little bit more than you can keep your memory tuned into, eh? So, but yes, if you want to work on a costume, build yourself some stuff up, a great place to go, try to get you some materials, is a thrift store. A lot of people build those. I watch cosplayers and things like that. They'll show you lots of different places that you can go and pick things up, make yourself a nice costume, keep it all working nicely. So that's always a lot of fun, eh? Always a lot of fun. But, yep, out walking the dogs, having a good time. Trying not to get myself in too much trouble. Trying to think of something good I could have for supper tonight, huh? That would be delicious. Wouldn't you love to have some delicious supper tonight? I certainly would. It would be very good, very tasty, huh? That's what we need, some good and tasty supper. I could go for some good stuff. I keep having cravings for pumpkin. I didn't get no pumpkin at Thanksgiving on account of the kids. They went wild on the pumpkin. I think we got a big pumpkin pie from, looked like there'd be more than enough, so I wasn't too concerned. And I didn't wound up not being able to get any. Of course, the kids ate it all. They loved that thing, and they just chowed down. And they ate and ate and ate until their eyeballs were bugging out of their heads, eh? They dreamed of pumpkins. But I've seen a recipe that some folks were doing. I think it was on the front, I can't remember the name of the channel offhand. Frontier Patriot, I think, and they did some recipes that were showing some stuff, and it looked like they laid chunks of pumpkin down into the pan, and then they took those chunks of pumpkin and they put apples on top of it, and they made themselves a delicious and tasty pie, and that looked like that might be pretty good. Didn't know I've ever had stuff like that much, but I certainly wouldn't mind it at all. Seemed to me like it'd be pretty good. These dogs are really excited of today. When I see this old colonial redcoat come out, they just go wild, start running around, acting like they've never been loose before in their life. Look at that one there. Whoa, he found the camera racing around the field. Look at that. I'm gonna jump that ditch. Doing. There she goes, eh? She's a real bouncer, she is. Back around there, Pee-Pee. Yeah. A real bouncer. Quite the character that pup is. So it's almost nice enough out here. You could bring out a flintlock, eh? Play with it a little bit. Something I should have done, maybe. Haven't done it. The weather hasn't been good. I'm getting the urge. Don't have a lot of nice days left, probably, to go out and do stuff. It's a little cool out, but could have some fun with that. But I guess it's probably walking around and walking the dogs is probably more priority than having fun with the old flintlock right now, because they haven't got to walk for a while because I haven't been out to walk them. You know, I was watching the kids all morning, so I didn't get to get out till this afternoon, and I finally did make it out, and here I am out here enjoying the weather. Nice, and it's not too cool, it's just nice crispy weather, that's for sure. So I've been doing some stuff where I find videos I like, or I find something interesting within the video, so I decided to take them and share them with the community. So if you look at those, you'll be able to see some stuff. There's some reenacting stuff that's been coming up there that I've run into, some Fort Loudon and different things where you can get a first-hand look at some of the outfits and costumes and things that people put together to portray history in the 18th century. You can watch that. It's always a good time to watch that stuff. Oh no, Pee-Pee's down in the creek getting some water. Oh, Pee-Pee, you better not get yourself muddy, eh? You're gonna be in big trouble. Nobody's gonna want a muddy pup in the house. No, that's a fact. No muddy pups in the house, eh? We won't tolerate that now. We just can't have it. Can't have muddy pups in the house. Oh my, maybe she'll run around clean her feet in the grass, eh? That's what we're hoping for. Clean your feet in the grass. Well, oh no, not well. Every time I say well, I want to follow it up with a well, what a deep subject, eh? I don't know. How deep can it get? Oh, I don't know. 200 feet? Oh, I know a show I started watching, a television show that aired back in 1988. It was called April Morning. and it's got Tommy Lee Jones in it. He don't last very long in it though, sadly. He's a good actor. I'd like to see him get me in that movie for a while, but he's like old Ned Stark. What's that guy? Plays in Sharps. Oh no, my brains went dead. I can't think of his name. You know who I'm talking about. Sean Penn. I think it's Sean. Well, anyway, he's an actor. He was in Game of Thrones and different shows. He's a pretty good actor, but they kill him like almost immediately before the show even gets started. It's like taking one of your top actors and whacking him right off the beginning, and he don't get to last very long, eh? So that kind of makes the show disappointing. So, but he's a good one for that until you realize that when you see him in a show. I don't know how many shows you got to watch before you realize it, except for Sharps. That's the only one I've seen that he lasted in to the end of it, huh? At the end, I guess the big finale is, I don't want to ruin it for you, but I think I will. Why would you do that, Ed? Why would you ruin it for him? Well, because, you know, I just can't help myself. But I think the whole goal through the whole thing was that they wanted to actually see Napoleon, huh? Napoleon, the Emperor of France. Yes, sir. That movie came out, and I listened to some reviews. It's a new one on Napoleon that just came out. I won't tell you a whole lot about it because I ain't seen it, but the review said that the battles and stuff were really good. But as far as the rest of it goes, boring. So I don't know. I'd have to watch it and see if it could hold my attention, eh? It might, and it might not. A lot of times attention is hard to hold nowadays for anybody. That's for sure. But I always enjoy a nice walk, and it's so beautiful out here today. I don't like fall, excuse me, never. I like a spring, and I love summer, but I'm not a real fan of being overheated too much anymore. I eat too much garbage, and my body don't like to cool itself, eh? It likes to get all hot and pesky. Yep, it does. So, but this is absolutely amazing for me to get out and do this. I appreciate all the folks spending the time with me. If you listen to me rant and raves, huh? Hey, you know. Oh, I got another story for you. I'll tell you why I'm out here, in case you might not be interested. Oh, they ain't interested. Forget it. No, I've got to tell it. It'll be in me records. There's a store in town. It's a little thrift store, and I stopped in there to try to find me some stuff for my costume, eh? So what I did is I went and looked. Probably people think, who's that weirdo man looking at all the women's jewelry? And I looked and I found a pair of earrings, and that little round pearl up here in the middle of my hat up there, if you pull that off, it's an earring. It's a lady's earring I found there. Sometimes you can find all kinds of stuff. Like I got a couple buttons on another hat. Maybe it's this hat that they're on. If you look real close to them, they got the same symbol as on this gorget. The very same symbol, but it's so small you can't see it. I tried to find it in a nice bigger button, but that's the best I could do. And I found those at Walmart. So you just never know, if you're looking, where you might find some things to slap onto your costume and decorate it up. Right now I'm in need of some white belts. I need to make something that looks more time period correct. I'd like to do that for a bayonet, you know, the frog, I guess they call it a frog for the bayonet to go into, and maybe even the sword. More time period correct. I just took some scrap stuff that I had and whipped me something up, I did. So I did do that. And well, let me sing you the song. No, I won't torture you with no songs. Well, I think I'm dropping my English accent and starting to roll over to the old Frenchy, eh? Oh, I went up too far. Don't want to get this far up into the road. Got these old dogs with me. You're all out of breath, Grandpa Doggy. Yeah. Yeah. Both of us are. Two old men out here messing around. That's right. Getting in shape, eh? Yes, you walk up a good pip, we will. That's how you get a waste and everything moving out of you, eh? Get yourself in better health. That's why walking is exceptionally good. Get the circulation going, get the blood pumping to the heart, get all that stuff working good. That's right. That's what you need to do. Get yourself in shape. Take care of yourself. There's only one of you. They didn't make another. Unless you got a twin and then you got somebody that looks like you, but still you're not the same person. That's for sure. And that always amazes me, that kind of stuff does. It's just amazing, twins and things of that nature. It's just unbelievable. Just this whole world and everything in it that is good. And even some stuff that's not. Is quite amazing, is it not? It's just unbelievable. Creation and what all it does and what all it's good for and what all the things are, the living trees and the animals and all that kind of stuff. It's too bad that man doesn't have a greater appreciation for nature and all the things that are around there. Too busy trying to push corrupt agendas and convince you of all kinds of stuff when they have evil malice in their veins. Is that a good word for that? I'm not sure. I think that's what it means. That they're just not on the side of good, that they just want to destroy everything that is great and wonderful in the world. Why would they want to do that, Ed? Why would they want to do that? That's the question. And I can tell you why. Because they're jealous of the one who amazingly created all of this. Yes, he created it all. He created you, and he created you in his image. And therefore, you have creative powers. And so, you can't just blink it up like Genie. Can't do it. But this here tool, right here, and this, you can. You can do anything that you set your mind to do, that you want to do. If somebody else done it, you can do it too. And that'll be a fact. You just have to set your mind to it and learn how to do it. Once you learn, then you can do it, you know? Like I would never be able to whip out a stock for a musket because I wouldn't know how to do it. But since I watched some videos, now I do. Because if you try to make a Kentucky long rifle stock, or any stock that goes up that has a 44-inch barrel or so, chances are it'll break before you ever get it shaped right. A little trick is when you get your end that I've seen that the great craftsmen of YouTube have been doing is they take and first thing they do on their template and their cut piece of wood is they inlay the barrel right to it, and the barrel is used to support the wood and everything as you sand it down and work it to where you want it to be. So it's support for that, so it doesn't break. So you can file on everything and you won't put enough pressure on it to snap it off or anything. So that's always cool, huh? Yes. So, oh man, my arms are gonna fall off, eh? I'm not very good at holding on to the old selfie pole, but it's always fun to just walk back and forth. I walk a little bit slow. I got a knee every now and then that wants to go kabloogie on me, and I can't. It's like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be standing or hitting the ground, huh? I didn't bring my sword with me, so I can't rally my troops into battle. I got two furry troops, but I didn't know how battle happy they would be. Ha ha ha. I suppose if a rabbit or something come winding out here, they might go into battle for that, right? Oh my, what a lovely day. So, how long we been yakking, eh? Oh, going pushing for half an hour of fun. If it is fun, it's fun for me, good exercise. Fun for the pups, it looks like too. They're having a good time. I've tried to keep my British accent going. I will review this after I upload it so I don't say, oh, I'm so embarrassed I'm not putting that up. Because I don't like to mess with editing. Sometimes I have to go back and look at some of my videos, which that's what I'll do with this one. I'll go back and I'll watch and review it. Watch and review! And I'll say, hey, how good did you do with that British accent you were working on, eh? Well, I don't know. We'll find out. Once I listen back to her, did you stay in it very long? Did you switch off to some other accents, eh? I don't know. Let's hope not. I try to keep it going. It seemed like it would be an easy thing, but when you play around with other stuff and do more than one character, what happens is you start, sometimes they run together, apparently. That's what about Dungeon and Dragon games. You know, there's a lot in that going on. And I think maybe if you're going to play that kind of stuff, you might want to open up with a good prayer to the Lord Jehovah before you play the games. Because there's a lot of stuff in there that could be not good that you don't realize it. So, I mean, you could chase all that bad stuff out of there. Should it be a case of something that's not good, where you're opening the door to things coming into your life that's going to cause you mischief, right? So I pray over all my plastic, all my possessions, every molecule of air, every grain of sand, every blade of grass upon my property, everything around, and all the people, and even the entire world, to be blessed by Jehovah God in heaven. That He will give us the strength and the will and the enjoyment of life that He blessed us with. That's what I do. So I used to be a bit greedy, try to keep all that to myself. But I decided, you know what? I think you better open up a bit here, mate. Get out there and let everybody know about it. If you can, help them all out. Pray for everybody. Everybody needs that. That's for sure. Some need it more than others at different times. I may even get a blessing back myself from someone who I didn't even know I prayed for. And then they would show up to help me. And I wouldn't even understand, well, that sure is fortunate that they showed up at that time, right? It turns out they were down and in bad shape, and you prayed for them. And they were able to find the strength to heal. And then one day you run into them somewhere needing help, and they can help you. And you'll never put that connection together. So I got some stuff on that's interesting from the Civil War, because I had family in the Civil War. They were the Ohio 32nd Volunteer Infantry Division. Both of the family members were wounded. I believe one at Harper's Ferry and the other at maybe Anaheim. I didn't know for sure, but you can get that. There's a book on that you can get and read. You can also read it online too. You can look it up, and you'll see in the back of the book all the different regiments and everything, and you'll find them in there. I can't remember what company they were in, but so maybe great grandfather Ira was in there. So they served in the Civil War. They did, on the side of the North. So that's where they served. So, but you know, if it wasn't for being able to look things up on the internet and everything, we would have no clue about the history. I've been able to track the history of the family quite well. A matter of fact, when I did it, I got so excited that I didn't save anything. So now it's like, oh, I need to read that again. My memory's not quite what it should be. It's not quite what it should be. And I can't go back and read it again because I can't find it. It's like, I know I read that. I found it, it let me in. And then some of that stuff, they let you have enough to tease you. And then they want to charge you for information and stuff. And I didn't mind it if it's accurate and everything, or not something I already knew. Because, you know, the more you can put together, the funner it is. I was able to trace my father's side of the family all the way back to England and all the way back to Germany. And I also found out that one of my relatives married into the royal family, into a duke. It was a duke. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I can't remember what duke it was now right off the hand, but it was a lady, and she was in the family, and because I kept wondering about everybody naming their kids in the family Elizabeth and stuff like that. There's a lot of them, and it's like, you know, what's a connection with that? Well, guess what? Yes, the English connection. Tough to get there. You learn about all the goods and services and everything in the world had to go through England first. They had to get the king's tax stamp and everything. That country's tried to rule everything since, probably way before the 1600s. So I'd say probably your biggest problem in the world today, if you track it back, you might find that somebody stepping in their shoes and following their footsteps with putting military all over the world would probably be led from England, because I don't think this here is as independent as we like to think it is. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. I could be totally wrong. But evidence and facts and things of that nature don't seem to go in the direction that it's more like unlikely not true. You see.
Oh, Ed, what makes you think that there's heavy ties in this country with that old England?
Well, I suppose if I had control of something, you might find me gas stations all over the country. We call them BP. Yes, I would put them everywhere. I would control the fuel, all that good stuff, I would. Well, you know, that might not even be a connection. Have you tried to connect that? No, I did not, but it just seems to be rather odd. That's just like everywhere, huh? So, I'd say they got control of most everything, because ain't nobody doing nothing that they cut your fuel supply off now, are they, huh? That's a pretty major thing there. My goodness, and I've noticed they've been keeping the prices of it down to $80 a gallon right in there, around here. And the reason why is they want you to think that the economy here is just amazing. It's booming. And there's plenty of money, but inflation, all that kind of good stuff has soaked everything up. I mean, I've been run to the cleaners, I might have to go on disability or something, by golly, before I can retire and be all crippled and stuff from working myself to death, huh? So I see all kinds of crazy stuff on the internet. You know, work till you drop, and then get up and work some more, huh? Yes, sirree. You can never get enough of the old credits, is what you're going to. Not even going to have cash no more. Credits, that's all you're going to get. So, and then, well, guess what happens if you don't follow the rules? Yes, they'll block your credits and lock them down. You won't be able to do nothing unless you conform. And some people will say, well, you'll either take the mark of the beast, or you won't be able to buy and sell or shop or eat or anything. They have total control. But they tell me I can get in this ditch over here and dig up them cattails and eat them if I get too hungry. Might pay to get one of them books, you know, on what kind of weeds and grass you can eat so you don't make yourself sick. So, or no, I could get some of this stuff out here to make me some onion stew. I got onion plants all over the place, But most of the wildlife is all cleaned up, rabbits and different things. It's like, what happened to them, Mr. Ed? What happened to the rabbits and everything? Well, they polluted the whole land with coyotes. You think that was conservative stuff that they were trying to reestablish back in nature? And then they got rid of coyotes because people like to hunt rabbits, and rabbits taste better, obviously. And they like to hunt different things, like that grouse and turkeys, and them coyotes keep all that stuff cleaned up. So the only thing you're going to be able to do is find a coyote and eat it, because that's the only thing that's going to be running around, because there ain't much left after they scavenging through. You can't even find a mouse to eat, should you be inclined to eat one. Them coyotes eat everything. They do. They used to sneak up here One reason we had rabbits for a while is they got a pile of bricks over there in blocks, and the rabbits could get into the blocks, and the coyotes couldn't get into the blocks to get them. So we had some rabbits for a little while, but sooner or later, of course, one stupid rabbit runs out in the road and gets run over. We didn't hunt them or nothing. They just run around here for a while, and eventually some coyotes swung back by and ate them. So, because rabbits are very, very dumb, apparently. So, I don't know. They just run around in a small circle and then run straight into their predator. And then, yummy, tasty rabbit stew, eh? Yes. What brings that all up, Mr. Ed? Oh, what brings it up, eh? Well, I can tell you what brings her up. And what it is that brings it up is I was seeing an article where they're getting ready to reintroduce wolves into Colorado. So it looks like they want to kind of get rid of all your game and everything there too, because the only thing you'll have is a bunch of wolves running around. So I think those things have a place, but I don't think it's around where people are. So, because when they get their food supply dried up, what are they going to eat? Because they're carnivorous, right? So I didn't know. Oh my. 36 minutes of pacing up and down the driveway, huh? So, I would think I'd be able to lose a couple ounces, huh? Probably did all this and gained 10 pounds. It's like the more he walks, the heavier he gets. He's soaking up all that moisture from the air, huh? That might be the case. But, oh well. This is kind of one of them walking talks and shooting the bull-baloney, throwing some religion out there at you, telling you some of my thoughts, showing you some of my toys, talking about costumes, trying to pass the time. Maybe you're sitting somewhere where you'd like to pass the time. Maybe you got some stories to tell. Somebody kicked back at me with one of my deer stories and was telling me about where they seen a deer jump on the top of somebody's car and cave it in and on the roof, and then they didn't even slow down, they said. So I could believe it the way some of these folks drive. Oh my, he probably heard a boom, looked around, I didn't see nothing. Yeah, but when he goes to get out of his car and he gets home, he says, what happened to the top of my car, eh? It's a banana top now, or it'll fill up with water and make a nice pool because the top of it's popped down in. I remember the days when you could jump on cars, couldn't even hurt them. You know, you stand on the hood and everything, but now you can buckle your hood just closing the daggone thing. It's so thin and everything. Gosh, they want so much money for this stuff. You know, it's like, give me an arm and a leg, eh? You know, oh my goodness, I seen like a big truck, you know, you can get a special on it for $79,000, eh? And no wonder property and everything's went insane. Who can afford that stuff? Especially young folks. You know, it's got to be pretty disheartening to them. I mean, getting you a piece of property and a nice house and some land was always the American dream. I mean, I was able to barely squeeze mine in before insanity hit everything and went crazy. I mean, it's just unbelievable what's going on and everything. So, and then of course, you know, it really never belongs to you. Even if you think you own it, you don't really own it. You just have a deed to live there, basically. Because if you think you own it, don't pay your taxes and see what happens. You'll find out who owns it. It'll be whoever wins the sheriff's auction. That's who owns your property then. So you got to pay your taxes. Otherwise, oh, you won't be having no property. It's gone. So that's just the way it is. Got to keep paying that. And they don't care when you get old. If you're on disability, you got problems with your health, anything like that, and you can't work, you don't have income, they could care less. They'd be more than happy to take your property, steal it from you basically, and give it to someone else to pay taxes on, and do the same thing to them that they did to you. And people will just keep buying into that stuff, you know? It's like, hey, I'm taking advantage of the system, I'm getting me some property, and you have no idea how that property was acquired and what they did or what's going on to the previous people. So, but it's nice that you can get it. That always makes you feel good, but that's another one of the things I would like to obtain legally and everything, you know. Some people just quit paying their taxes for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe they get into drugs or alcohol or something and they just don't pay their bills anymore. They just quit and they're done. I ain't paying those bills no more. I'm done. They've had enough. Well, at that point, maybe they should will that property off to a family member or something. Try to keep it in the family. You know, that's one thing about the Amish folks. They keep their stuff in their family. So that's always nice. My side of the family over there was so greedy. I mean, my gosh, you know, it was ridiculous. Unbelievable. I remember when my grandfather was passing and they said by morning, sadly enough, he'll be gone. And then I seen a cousin taking his VCR, dragging it out. I said, hey, what are you doing? And he said, I'm taking my VCR. I said, that's not your VCR, that belongs to Grandpa. And he said, well, Grandpa gave it to me when he dies. And I said, Grandpa give that to you when he dies? I said, you piece of crap, he's not dead yet. But they took it anyway, cleaning pictures off of the wall. It was insane. I couldn't believe it. That's my family, people I loved and trusted. And they're doing that kind of stuff, that dang gone greedy. That's crazy. Unbelievable. I took nothing. Not a thing. So, anyway, I mean, I just didn't worry about it. Didn't worry about that stuff. Even when my father passed, he told me that I could take everything I wanted. He said he had firearms and all kinds of stuff. That go ahead and take it, son. I don't know how much time I've got, and you might as well enjoy it. So, and I think he was just giving me his stuff, and I was like, Dad, you're gonna be all right, huh? He had leukemia, cancer, and of course, you know, you don't never tell somebody that it's over for them. I said, Dad, you're going to be all right. You'll be all right. I'm not going to take your stuff. We'll get together and enjoy some shooting and stuff here as soon as you get better. And I didn't take none of it. So, you know, I don't feel bad about any of that kind of stuff. I don't want anything like that. I like somebody to have my stuff that could appreciate it, love it like I did. You know, even though I have lots of stuff that's, I've kind of fell in love with electronics, so I got a lot of outdated electronic stuff that I need to probably just take to the recycling center. Or maybe if I had a inkling to put it on eBay, some of that stuff, you know, people's looking for. They look for old stuff that they always wanted but never obtained, and now they got a job and maybe some money and they'll be able to get it. And before, you know, they couldn't really afford anything. So it was kind of poor, you know. It wasn't a priority, so. But I heard Black Friday was dead. Nobody out doing anything. So I seen a video where a guy said, you ought to put some groceries on sale is what you ought to do so people can eat, because groceries are ridiculous. People ain't got money for this junk. So anyway, I found that to be interesting. But I think the dogs are done walking, and I'm about out of breath, and I've been walking for 43 minutes of fun here. So, well, if you watch this, believe you me, I enjoyed your company, and I hope you enjoyed mine, so that we might have a little chat about different things. Maybe you'll feel better. Maybe you'll get some food for thought, right? And you'll become, hopefully, a greater person. That's my goal. So we'll talk at you later. Please enjoy your day, all right? And try to find some really good tasty grub, huh?